peculiar, mysterious, magical. Chameleons are familiar to almost every person on Earth, yet they are found in just a handful of places on the planet. We still know so little about them. Join us as we embark on a quest to reveal the secret life of these strange, exotic creatures. And with the help of the latest technology, we'll go right inside their amazing world. We'll reveal new science and solve some age-old mysteries. From the island of Madagascar, the forests of East and Southern Africa, to the sand dunes of the Namibian Desert. Meet the chameleons of the world. Chameleons are among the world's most fascinating lizards, renowned for their strange and unusual characteristics. On this world trip, we'll meet the biggest and the smallest, the most colourful and the most weird. We'll discover how they change colour according to their mood, how they speak with their skins, and with the help of high-speed photography and X-ray vision, we'll reveal cutting-edge science from how they use their long shooting tongues to how some use their tail as a walking stick. Witness never-been-seen-before X-ray imaging and high-speed photography. We go look for them in the most amazing settings and places imaginable. The distribution of chameleons is confined to Africa, the Mediterranean, the Arabian Peninsula, India and Sri Lanka, and also the island of Madagascar. Travel with our two experts as they reveal the amazing world of chameleons. Marius Berger explores the world in search of frogs and reptiles, and he has a specific interest in chameleons. He will take us to find some of the most iconic species in their natural habitat. Anthony Herrell has long been interested in functional morphology and investigates the feeding and movement of chameleons in his lab in Paris. It makes sense to start our exploration here, where the first chameleon was described.
I'm on a quest to follow the early discoveries of Carl Linnaeus, the Swedish biologist that became known as the father of taxonomy. Yes, he's the inventor of the classification system that we still use today, assigning scientific names to new plants and animals. He launched the system in 1758, and it was at that time that the world's very first chameleon species was named. Cameleo chameleon, the Mediterranean chameleon. And here it is. So this was the world's introduction to the existence of chameleons. It's a bit ironic that this rather drab chameleon should serve as the prototype, when in fact another 170 species were described subsequently. Most of them thousands of kilometers away, in East Africa, South Africa, and in Madagascar.
If you are told that this could be regarded as drab, the very common, then one can begin to anticipate the extraordinary world of chameleons. South Africa is well known for its perfectly flat mountain, Table Mountain. This mountain is home to the most diverse vegetation type in the entire world, known as fynbos. More than 9,000 different plant species thrive here, and among these pretty flowers lives an equally pretty chameleon.
And this is where you find a very strange group of chameleons. Now, what is so special about the dwarfs? Most other chameleons are egg layers, but these, they give birth to live babies, up to 17 in one litter. And here, in the southwestern Cape, near the very tip of Africa, in this rich fynbos vegetation, this is where you will find the Cape dwarf.
From the southern tip of Africa, we head inland. The Drakensberg, or Dragon Mountains, is the most prominent geological feature of the KwaZulu-Natal province of South Africa. It reaches an altitude of almost 10,000 feet and will be snow-capped in winter. The fact that chameleons can live under these extreme conditions shows how versatile and adaptable these remarkable creatures are. Until recently, just one type of chameleon was thought to live here. But DNA analysis has uncovered the presence of an overlooked species. And here it is. Currently, it has no scientific name, but maybe emerald dwarf chameleon would suit. This is a pregnant female. Her babies soon to be born into this majestic landscape. Miniature dragons of the Dragon Mountains. The diversity of South African chameleons correlates with the diversity of South African habitats. Cape dwarf chameleons inhabit the fynbos, while the emerald dwarf lives in mountainous terrain. Others share the valley bushveld with the gentle giants, while some survive the extremes of the arid Karoo. East Africa is thought to be home to a third of the world's chameleons. From the lush rainforests of the famed Usambaras, the Eastern Arch Mountains, to the slopes of Kilimanjaro, down onto the savanna plains and woodlands with meandering riverine thickets. This is the stronghold for chameleons of the world.
The Eastern Arc Mountains of Tanzania is well known as a biodiversity hotspot. In fact, it comprises several mountain ranges, each with a unique suite of plants and animals, including chameleons that occur only on specific mountains. But to find them requires a bit of an effort.
But those efforts will be well rewarded, for the chameleons of East Africa are not your typical garden varieties.
Most of the members of King Yongya have two horns. And look at this splendid specimen. How is that for an Usambara two-horned male? Too green to be true. And the horns, an extra touch of class.
The horns serve to intimidate other males. However, females are also seduced by these. More well-endowed males with their large horns are perceived to be more handsome, more ecologically fit, compared to subadult males with a little less to offer. Kinyongia, where horn size does matter. Not all chameleons live in trees. Right under your feet, you can find chameleons in odd shapes and sizes. Some 40 of the 170 species of chameleons in the world are ground-living. But to see them, you need to keep your eyes peeled.
If chameleons are tree-living, then why am I staring so attentively at this pile of leaves? Well, not all chameleons live up there. There are at least 15 species in Africa that are adjusted to live amongst the dry leaves. And those are the stump-tailed and pygmy chameleons. And here in front of me, almost impossible to see, is the bearded stump-tailed chameleon. Whew, that is quite incredible. This is camouflage at its extreme. The body is completely flattened like a dry leaf. It has the same color, and it even has venation. And the tail, completely useless. Look, it's just a little stump. It doesn't have that prehensile abilities like the arboreal chameleons have.
Much of East Africa is savanna. It's here that you will find one of the largest chameleons in the world.
How is this for a monster of a chameleon? And I'm telling you, a chameleon this size is quite nippy. It seems like this guy is intent on embedding his talons into my skin, into my flesh. Very nippy, but what a splendid beast. One of the biggest chameleons in the world. In fact, this is the biggest chameleon in Africa. This is Meller's chameleon, also known as the giant one-horned chameleon. Most of East Africa's chameleons live in a rainforest, but there are quite a few, including this one, that prefer woodland savanna, which is a much more open habitat type. And these chameleons can thus very easily see each other. And when they do, there's quite a display. Now, these flaps of skin at the back here are called occipital lobes or ear flaps. They've got nothing to do with real ears, just flaps of skin. And when they see each other, they become very cross. They charge and flap those ears like irate elephants.
Living in these lush environments might seem easy, but not all chameleons are this fortunate. In the oldest desert in the world, a single species of chameleon has been surviving in harsh conditions for millennia. This is undoubtedly the most unlikely place to find a chameleon. The Namib Desert extends from southern Angola all the way to the border of South Africa. It's a vast and unforgiving landscape. Surely no place for a chameleon.
And to find this chameleon, you must be willing to cross miles and miles of desert sand. But with perseverance and endurance and a liberal amount of good luck, this will be your reward. The Namib chameleon, sand dragon of the Namib Desert. Somehow it is able to endure extremely harsh desert conditions. Daytime temperatures soar into the 40s. The nights are icy cold, and standing water sometimes nowhere for years on end. To survive here, you need to be desert-wise.
In a world of barren openness and very little vegetation, chameleons cannot sit and wait or depend on camouflage to surprise their prey. The Namib chameleon has a very different approach. As soon as its prey is spotted, rather than depending on a good camouflage, they run their prey down. The eerie call of an injury, lost echoes in a rainforest. A stark contrast to the silence of an ancient desert. There is no other place quite like this. It's here where you'll find more than a third of the world's chameleons.
Madagascar, the 4th largest island in the world and renowned as a biodiversity hotspot. Most of the plants and animals from here occur nowhere else on Earth, and it is home to a dazzle of chameleons that will surely blow your mind. This is the world of chameleons.
This country is the most diverse in terms of species of chameleons, and also boasts the largest and smallest of these remarkable reptiles.
Is this a chameleon or what? You bet it is. And this one is the biggest of them all. Parson's chameleon, Goliath among the giants. I cannot believe it. He challenges all of the preconceptions that I ever had about chameleons. It's nothing like that small little fellow that was depicted in my school books. And I wish you could feel the grip of this animal. It is piercing. It is not a little bit painful. It is unbelievable. And they say that these chameleons can catch small birds. Well, I can believe that. In fact, I do believe it.
This is clearly a male, since the females lack these short horns on their face. The Parson's chameleon can grow to a length of 70 centimeters, measured from the tip of its snout to the tip of its tail. About 10 centimeters longer than the largest chameleon in Africa, the Meller's chameleon. But are they truly the largest of all chameleons? Yes, if you consider the weight. But there is another chameleon that can reach a similar length, albeit not quite qualifying in the heavyweight league. Traversing the razor-sharp limestone pinnacles of the Tsingy, the Austerlet's chameleon needs intense focus and a calculating gait. Losing your grip in this hostile environment could be your last mistake. Within the sea of seemingly impassable Tsingy lies islands of lush forest. The temptation to visit these overrides the challenges of such terrain. These limestone formations were formed under the sea, and after being exposed for millions of years, the forces of erosion carved this treacherous landscape. Madagascar is not only known for the largest and most colourful chameleons in the world, but also for the smallest of them all.
The world of chameleons never ceases to amaze. Whereas most of the regular-sized chameleons and even the giants clumber up in the branches, some high at the canopy, on the forest floor lives the small ones. These are the smallest chameleons in the world, and even as adults, they are diminutive, minuscule. They are also the smallest reptiles on this planet. This is Brookesia minima, found on a small island off the north coast of Madagascar. Minima, the mini-me of chameleons.
Size is a matter of scale. What would be considered a small creature in our world may be a giant if it lives in a miniature one. The world of chameleons is undoubtedly colourful. They live a secretive life, sometimes hidden right under our noses. And so very often, we walk straight past these incredible lizards. It's a world of change with a colourful language. We know so little about them, and only now have started to realise how incredibly diverse and unique chameleons really are. Next time in Chameleons of the World. Inside our high-tech lab in Paris, we reveal new and cutting-edge research. For the first time, we'll see how the tongue of a chameleon really works.
There it goes. All right, he's got it. Cool.
How they use their tail as a walking stick for balance.
They actually use their tail as a fifth limb.
And how they change colour.
What a lot of drama.
Join us on our quest for the chameleons of the world.